It was one of the scariest memories of my life.
I remember asking, why is this man standing there? Like, this is making me even more uncomfortable. And they said, because if you died, the driver could then be arrested for manslaughter.
Fighting back tears this whole interview, by the way.
Completely unresponsive.
You were not moving and you weren't conscious and you were just in the road. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like really bad.
Tell me what happened on the night of January 28th, 2015.
Sure.
It was just a regular day. It was a snow day, so you guys were home. We had a babysitter, and I was making dinner, and you guys were out playing in the snow.
You were hit by a car outside of our house across the street as you were sledding.
And it was just a very ordinary day with 4 kids just running around.
And it was one of the scariest memories of my life.
How did you first react when you heard that I had been hit by a car?
Okay, so your sisters will make fun of me because initially when Izzy came in yelling, I thought you guys had seen a fox because obviously I'm scared of fox.
So I think my first reaction was just like, oh, how can I help?
I went out to you, Dad, who was recovering from a stroke, and I was worried he shouldn't come outside because it was snowy and icy and he was a fall risk.
Actually, this is kind of crazy. It was really cold there. We had some ice and snow, and I was on blood thinners because of my stroke. So I was actually, as I was running outside, I was like, well, I gotta be careful myself that I don't slip and fall because that would be bad. And then when I saw that you were not moving and you weren't conscious and you were just in the road, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like really bad.
I think your 12-year-old sister dialed 911.
Like really scary. So my first reaction, I think, crazy enough, was like more worried about, how to get out there and help and be safe. And then I kind of forgot about myself and just focused on you and realized that it was a very, very serious situation.
From the second I saw you to when emergency vehicles arrived and everything, it feels right now like it was 30 seconds.
I swear, it just felt like 5 minutes or less. It was probably longer than that, but it didn't seem that long.
What happened once we got to the hospital?
I noticed a police officer was standing outside of your door. I don't know if it was a police officer or a sheriff. I don't know. But anyway, I remember asking, why is this man standing there? Like, this is making me even more uncomfortable.
I also remember both Mom and I telling him, you don't need to stay, you can go.
And they said, because if you died.
He was there to see if you were gonna live, and because if you weren't gonna live, then he was probably gonna have to go press charges, and
the driver could then be arrested for manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter.
And take some action and whatever. So, and I just was not understanding. I was like, why is this guy here? Like, he should be out working, doing something. We don't need him there. Like, I just didn't understand all of it. But yeah, it wasn't until later where I was like, oh, I guess I get it. And that was really freaky, scary.
It was the most intense 72 hours that I hope to ever experience.
What do you think contributed most to the good outcome?
You know what?
Your personality, 100%.
You worked so hard, and you're 6. Like, you could have been a little bugger, and you weren't. Everything the doctors told you to do, obviously once you woke up from the coma, you did, and I give you all the credit in the world for where you are today.
So one thing, and I've talked to your doctors, your therapists, like everyone, they like to give credit to our family and how we were there to support you and every step of the way. Being there, since I literally didn't leave your side from the moment you got to the hospital through recovery, through inpatient rehab, I saw how hard you worked, and not only how hard you worked, but your attitude. Like, you literally never complained about anything. You never complained about the accident. You never complained about missing school, like literally being in pain, literally having to go through withdrawal from narcotics. You were on methadone, which they give to heroin addicts. You never complained. You were 6 years old. You went through narcotic drug withdrawals and you never complained. You never said, why did this happen to me? You just went to every therapy. You gave it 110%. And when I'll never forget, there's two stories. Number one, you were in physical therapy at NRH, and you, as you were learning to walk again, your legs, your hamstrings were really tight. And so the therapist said, okay, this session, and you had 2 sessions every day. She said, we're just gonna stretch you out and it's gonna hurt. It needs to hurt in order to work. And so she was going forward with stretching you, and then I noticed tears were running down your cheeks, but you never said anything. And I said, oh my gosh, B, are you okay? And you said, yeah, it hurts, but I know it needs to hurt. And she immediately was like, oh my gosh, it shouldn't hurt that bad. But that's the kind of like how you approached your recovery, just doing everything that you needed to do. And you were such a goal-oriented kid that they would give you a goal and they would say, I'll never forget this one too, right? They said, when you were learning to walk again and you were going to the wheelchair, in a wheelchair, into your different therapies, and they give you a goal. They said, hey, why don't you try to go to walk to one therapy every single day. And for you to walk, it was like really hard and it was slow. And, I had to help you so that you didn't lose your balance. And as soon as they set that goal, guess what? You walked to every therapy from that point on. You were just like, okay, this is the goal. This is the expectation. I'm going to do it. So 100%, you get all the credit for the recovery, your personality, your work ethic, your outlook, your optimism, your positivity, all of that.
Obviously, this was a very difficult time for me, for the family, for everyone. But can you please say at least one positive thing that you think came from this event?
I think there were actually more than one positive thing.
Oh God, one positive thing, B? Oh my God, I could list a million positive things.
Maybe the greatest gift was perspective. There's always challenges and frustrations, day-to-day life, traffic, stuff like that. That stuff does not bother me anymore. I get cut off. Somebody, is on their phone at a red light or a green light and doesn't go, I just don't even care. Like it literally still, it's been almost 10 years and this stuff that used to bother me doesn't bother me anymore. So I think perspective is the greatest gift.
You can bomb a test anytime you want. You can do whatever you want for the rest of your life because you've given me the greatest gift by just being here.
I think as a family, we kind of share that, and it's a lot of ways, I think it's been a great thing for you guys as kids to have that perspective. That's one positive thing.
Is there anything else that you'd like to mention that helped you get through the tough time?
I would say the power of community. The way the community rallied around our family, I don't know, like, I'm not an overly religious person. I obviously am religious, but the prayers on behalf of our family and the surrounding community. I mean, there was a prayer walk in Your Honor where like 500 people in our town showed up. Like, yeah, I think all of the prayers, all of the support, all of the love completely helped our family. I think Dad and I have said, and this is probably, I shouldn't say it on camera, so maybe you have to delete this part, but if this had happened to anyone else, I'm not sure we would have had the outcome that we had. Like, I think you were born special.